Fantastic. Let's get into our last conversation now. And we said, lest we forget, tulikuwa na kitu inaitwa Michuki rules, right? You may not remember them if you're young, but the reason why your matatus have a yellow line, a yellow stripe across them, the reason why they're 14-seaters, the reason why you're not supposed to stand, even though sambaza, you're not supposed to have a sambaza. Yeah. There's just an extra seat there. Those are all the Michuki rules. And we have in studio with us Simon Mbugua, who is the national chair for the Matatu Welfare Association. Karibu sana, Simon.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you in studio. Before anything else, Janet will share the quote of the day.
Janet who?
Janet Mbugua.
Nafaa tuongee Mr. Mbugua. Tuone kama kuna relation. Amina Mama once said, if we do not name our oppressions, they will disguise themselves as culture. What do you think of that?
It's tough, right?
It's tough.
Because on one hand you name,
yes,
there are consequences. On the other hand, if you don't name, you keep on now suffering.
Wow.
So it's a C21 between hard rock and hard service.
Okay. Very true.
Okay.
Very
Michuki rules.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
The Michuki rules, what were they? When did Michuki wake up one day and decide, you know what, Order.
From my understanding, they were introduced in 2004. He's a great person to tell us. To improve public transport safety, particularly for the Matatu sector. Some of the key measures, we've talked about them. Speed governors, mandating speed governors, seat belts and uniforms for drivers and conductors. And they required the use of defined routes, proper vetting of crews, and limited passenger capacity. So that's in a nutshell. I do remember them. Of course, it was by the, Michuki, the Minister for Transport and Communications at the time. I just remember them forming a very big part of the news cycle at the time. And I'm wondering if Mr. Mbugua can take us back to, number one, I almost wanted to go straight to what you feel made them so effective. But when this thing came up and you were there, what was the first reaction from the association?
First of all, I want to correct Miriam. My name is Dickson Mbugua.
Oh, Dickson.
Not Simon. Simon.
My apologies.
The former MP for
Yes, you're right. My apologies.
And, I'm the national chairman of Matatu Welfare. Also Secretary General for the Federation of Public Transport Sector. That's a new apex body that we created some 5 years ago. That's, I think, 2018. And its members are 8 national associations that are in the country. And you all know the structure of the Matatu governance is such that the individual operators are affiliated with the circles. And then the circles or Matatu companies are the members of the associations. Now the associations are members of the Federation of Public Transport Sector. And our chairman is Bwana Edwin Mukabana, who is the MD for KBS. And he have been in the industry for long. Now let's go to Michuki rules. Michuki rules did not just come by him waking one morning and coming to introduce them. It was long, protracted kind of a project. First of all, we benchmarked in Uganda 2001 because we were kept on being hammered in forums. Why can't we behave in very disciplined like the people in Uganda? They don't carry excesses. The passengers are equally very disciplined. The moment they see there is no space in the vehicle, they won't enter in. They have to wait for the next one. So we got curious and sad. So we felt we should go to Uganda and benchmark. And then we were there in the month of August, and for 10 days, we really crisscrossed Uganda. Then we came with that dossier, that we presented before the end of the year 2001 to the Minister for Transport and Communication then. But he was afraid. He was saying, the document is good. This is what we need in this country. But I'm afraid, Chairman, if we implement this, the next morning, the next day, I may get a firing at the roadside by the president. I think the best thing is that let's try it, how we can connect you to the president then. So that
For
he can
our
work.
younger viewers and listeners, yes, President Moi could stop at a market to buy bananas and fire you. Yeah, and then you'll find out in the evening on news.
On the news.
You have no job.
Yes.
So really what happened, and then come 2002, there was election, you remember?
Yeah.
That was in December. And then the early 2003, the Kibaki first cabinet, Michuki was the Minister for Transport and Communication. And then in the pending files, he finds our dossier. Oh, how was it supposed to work? It's good, it looked good. In fact, before he announced when they were to, and the Gazette when they were to take effect, he had to call me, and then I went there with my executive, and then we explained to him how that was intended to work, and said, this is what will work. Then ultimately, it was gazetted to take effect in November 3, 2003. Apparently, that was hasty.
Okay.
Okay?
Apparently.
Because transition, conversion of the vehicles from four-seater per row into three, fitting in the city belts,
Yes.
the speed governor, and so forth, that needed time and also needed money. So what happens? The following week, we went to him again and told him, now, this cannot be achieved within a week or even a month. We need more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we asked him for 6 months. I said, no, Chairman, we can't give you 6 months. We'll give you 3 months. Yeah. By February 4th, 2004, we expect all the matatus to have been complied. Okay? With the Michuki rules then. Then what transpired then is, at that time we had two associations. The other association, that's the Matatu Owner Association, went into hyper, objecting and even calling for an industrial action. We don't want these Michuki rules. Why should we be taken off from our normal routine into new eras, new rules that we are not familiar with, and all these kind of things. But that did not stop Michuki. He said this rule would work as long as we have the support of Matatu welfare.
Okay.
That's how they succeeded. And by the deadline, February 4, believe me, we had 5,000 vehicles that had complied the whole country. In Nairobi here, we had 2,000, about 500.
Wow.
The rest were from the other
Parts of the
provinces.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, that's a lot of work that happened in a very short amount of time. But let me go back to this industrial action. We'll talk actually about what exactly the Michuki rules were and why we call them that. And Eric was saying, you know what, he said, I just implemented the law. But the industrial action did happen.
It did happen, but one funny thing is that wananchi were for the change. And they came out very, very categorical. It doesn't, there was a lot of now walking, and you could see people hanging in the bus, the KBS, and then, of course, the train, And they said, and then majority were walking, particularly those from the Eastlands, from Nairobi West, from Parklands.
Places that are a bit close.
They were for the change, and they said, doesn't matter, even if it takes a year or 2 years.
We'll walk.
We'll walk. We need those changes as yesterday. Okay?
So that was, how long did the strike last before now the other association gave in to the Michuki rules?
The strike actually did not wait until the deadline of the Michuki rules. In fact, the strike followed the following week after 3rd of November. Yeah. And then it didn't last long, for about a week or so.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Michuki, we used to communicate. He was telling me, what is this I'm hearing? I'm telling him, no, we are not all in one basket. We are not in the same thinking, and the others want to stay in the old way of operation. And for us, we need to change. Yeah, we cannot all the time being challenged. Your neighbors, in Dar, in Kampala, they're operating in a more disciplined way, and here you are carrying us like sacks, people standing and so forth.
Yeah.
And we told him we'll support you. In fact, even before the deadline, that is February 4th, Michuki had instructed TLB then, because TLB was now the one governing.
Licensing.
The
Transport
Licensing
Board.
Yes. We normally call that RSL, Road Service License. Okay. He instructed TLB to accommodate Mbugua and he gazetted it and give 1 month. The board should go to all the provinces, there were 8 then, and the old constitution, and talk to the operators. Okay, in Mombasa, in Kakamega, Kisumu, Nakuru. We ended up in Nairobi here. Yeah, at the Kenya School of Monetary Studies, such to sensitize people and create awareness. What are these Michuki rules? What are they made of? What are they intended to? What changes are they supposed to bring? And then, apart from Kisumu and Mombasa, the other areas were very accommodative and said, yes, let them come, we will comply. But in Kisumu, I'm telling you.
What were they saying? What was it that was what they were pushing back on, that they were saying we don't want this? In Kisumu and Mombasa, what were they saying?
Well, in Kisumu is really transitioning or conversion from the 4-seater
to the 3.
To the 3. The 4-seater really came up with a capacity of 18. Yeah. Whereas the 3-seater, 3 per seat, 4 seats, that tabulated into 14-seater. Okay. They thought that by that conversion, they will lose money.
Yep.
The fare collection.
Yeah, those are 4 less passengers.
Exactly.
Well, not just 4 less, because even that 18-seater used to carry 22 people, maybe. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. I have memories of sitting on top of the engine. That's an extra person.
Yeah. Accommodated for. So that was in Kisumu.
In Kisumu.
And then in Mombasa.
In Mombasa, similar kind of sentiments or observation. But not more so aggressive like in Kisumu. Kisumu had to turn into talking now their language. Some of us understand that language until we convince them. And then, of course, now we made them understand that by carrying 14 instead of 18, you will end up infant killing in terms of tire wear, in terms of fuel consumption, in terms of maintaining our vehicles. Yeah.
Very clever. That's how you get people to comply. That's how you do compliance.
You make the bottom line work.
And then they accepted.
Okay.
And it really worked.
Yep.
Because after conversion and they started operating, they were realizing same amount as when they were getting from the 18-seater. Then they were asking the excess, where was the excess going to? Over and above.
From how you've threaded it, and thank you for giving us that history, the industry seems to be the one that had initiated this, right? Industry went to the neighboring countries and looked at what was best practice. Industry came and said, let's implement this. But then industry wanted the government to enforce it. Why did industry just implement without government? Why did the industry just need the government's hand in this?
Ordinarily, why we need the government in most cases, most of these issues? Government, first, is the custodian of the rules and regulations. Government is the enforcer. Okay? The risk management then, because we didn't have circles or companies, they were trying because they would set their own rules under the code of conduct in one or the other. And those who did not comply with the code of conduct were really punished maybe 14 days, 1 month, ultimate expulsion. But not everybody was buying that. Yeah, you're working, you can't turn it to be a law enforcer. You is your police. Why do you enforce us?
That's
that.
fair.
So that's why we needed the government.
We needed somebody external.
Somebody else to come and stamp
force.
authority so that at least everyone now is on the same plate.
Okay. Maybe I'll come back to this later, but let me just ask it now. We can discuss it as we go. We see other industries, other sectors wanting to co-regulate with government. So there's self-regulation, government is involved, but the industry is the one that is spearheading this. We see it even in the media, with the Media Council of Kenya and others. Now with the religious organization saying, we shall have this umbrella, but we shall have the force of the law behind it. Do you think it would have been a good thing for an entity to be formed like NTSA, and you can come and say here, NTSA to be industry-led and government coming in as, side enforcer, so that it's a self-regulatory mechanism for the transport sector?
It is possible, very much possible. Let me tell you, because I've had a stint with the various government agencies for 10 years. Yeah. I've been a board member for Gura, inaugural board member for 6 years. That's 2 terms, 2008 to 2014. Yeah. Having initiated the INTP and influenced the government to draft, to allow a drafting of the integrated national transport policy. So I was there for 6 years. Recently, I also was involved in KNEST, Kenya National Entrepreneurs Savings Trust, also as one of the initiators and one of the founding members. And although we didn't finish even 1 term because we were rooted out because of politics. And it's very much possible for an industry to be led by the operators, by the players.
Okay.
As long as the government gives them the go-ahead and supports them 100%, it can work. It's even much better, other than having somebody from the outside to come and govern. Yeah. Right now, what we are calling for, we are calling for a very vibrant and an NTSA that is full of experienced people. For example, we have now an acting Director General. That's Engineer Angela Wanjira. She's now the acting. And I've interacted with these engineers, having been a board member for Gura, one of the road agencies. I have a lot of respect for engineers because they are to the task once they are given, hoping for the brief period she's acting, she'll be able to meet the threshold. But what we require here, for the discipline really to take root in the industry, first of all, we require the government to empower the matatu circles and companies. Yeah? Because as we are talking now, the matatu circles and companies are only used as a conduit way of getting the road license, road service license.
I wanted to interrupt you just very briefly, because I realized before we get into how to bring back this discipline, for anyone who is maybe 21, 20 years old and younger, they've not lived in a world without the Michuki rules. Even 25, because you may not remember.
You were very young.
So let's contextualize what it looked like before.
What it looks like now,
and then how we
how to fix it.
How we fixed it, how to fix it. So Michuki rules, and you can tell me, by the way, if I skip anything, especially things that happen behind the scenes from a regulatory framework that we didn't see, but from what we saw for sure, having mandatory seatbelts. So before that, they just didn't have seatbelts. Vehicles just didn't have seatbelts. And I know we've slipped back, but we'll talk about that. Speed governors, this 80 kilometers per hour speed limit came into, being enforced at the time, and all PSVs now needed a speed governor, so you can't go above 80 kilometers per hour. Passenger limits, as Dickson has spoken to, which was going from 18-seater or 22, depending, to 14 strictly. Having uniforms and badges, you could previously not identify who is the makanga, nani kamagera, nani makanga, nani dereva, or kila mtu tu amevaa nguo zake, right? So enforced uniforms and badges. Regulation through SACCOs, and licensing, inspection for roadworthiness, and of course now they had penalties enforced. I think those were some of the main changes that came with the Michuki rules.
Indeed, yes.
Is there anything else that maybe was part of these Michuki rules? Yes, hanging your photo. That Phil is reminding us, our director,
of course,
hanging the photo up or next to the rear view mirror. Yes, so that we could identify you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that happened that was part of these Michuki rules that maybe we were not aware of or didn't make it to the limelight? Behind the curtains, and then we'll go to Janu's question.
So far, no. I don't think there is anything you left out in that sequence. They're all there, and you see why the photos were necessary for the driver and even the conductor. Certain incidences really used to happen, particularly the vehicle going between counties from here to Nyeri and to Nakuru. You find a rogue tout getting into the vehicle once it is full and collecting the fares, whereas he's not the employed conductor for that vehicle. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he vanishes.
Yeah.
So when the driver now starts, moving,
Very clever.
pesa.
Yep.
And then we are paid.
Melipa nani?
Amelipa nani? So kuna mtu ameingia hapa akiitisha fare. Kenya's.
Okay.
So those are some of the observations that made Michuki really mad and say, no, we must correct this. And then, of course, now they're standing passengers because, okay, there was no limit. You could carry, at that time, the minibuses were having a 25-seater. You find that when a minibus is stopped by the police and people are, kila mtu atoke. Then you find that vehicle carrying 60 passengers. Okay, instead of 25.
More than double the capacity.
In fact, twice. And then, of course, some police would make a joke. They would not fit. Because
there was a way they had been pangoed.
Yeah, there was a way.
Wait, the police were telling them
When they tell you to go back into the car, all 60 of you, you don't
know you can't fit. Yeah.
It's like a clown car. You know how people just come out.
Ulingiaje.
Okay.
And then, of course, the issue of the 18-seater going up country. You see one funny thing socially, or as per the African custom, you go with your daughter-in-law or son or mom-in-law, and you want to travel in the same vehicle. And then there are only 2 seats or 3 seats left there. How do you travel?
Right.
Just sit at your mother-in-law or your daughter-in-law. I mean, it became very
awkward.
Very awkward. And you must fit 4 of you. It was mandatory. So those are some of the benefits that came up with the Michuki rules. And the other thing, of course, I've explained, the benefit. The maintenance of the vehicle is lower because low capacity.
Okay. So you're getting back to now. Where did we, before we even go into restoring the discipline?
Where did we go wrong? That's what I was going to ask.
After Michuki.
When did you begin to see it decline? He passed in 2012.
Yeah,
but he was not.
But he was. I'm trying to see. He was minister. No, he was
for
still not
transport.
acting.
He had changed almost 3 times.
Yeah.
From the docket of transport and communication. Then he was only there 2004. I think by the time we were coming to 2005, we were not there. And there was a reshuffle. You remember the 2005
After the referendum.
The head of state had to do a reshuffle, and that's when he was transferred to the environment, and then we brought somebody, Honorable Makwere, and then who was now in charge. It was equally good, though not as vibrant as Michuki, not as, pressing the button like Michuki. And that's now when you started now retracting backwards. The other thing, of course, as good as the Michuki rules were, there were no, or we didn't create what we call sustainability mechanism. Going forward, we have introduced the Michuki rules. What will it take for you to sustain the momentum so that there's a continuity? Yeah? With that absence, everything flopped back. Okay? So now we started going back to the old ways and so forth, although the seats remained 14-seater, and the TLB was in handy. He was now forcing or auditing the compliance from time to time. And then, and remember during that time, 004, we are also drafting the INTP, Integrated National Transport Policy. Yeah? And that document policy brought a lot of changes. In regard to the public transport, particularly the passenger, we had TLB, then alongside TLB, we had National Road Safety Council. Okay? Both were government agents. TLB was a main substantive document under CAP 404. But National Road Safety Council was a through gazette man. Then when we were making changes, because the INTP brought those changes, even splitting the Ministry of Roads, the docket of roads, hence creating Kura, Kenha, and Kera. Okay? So that is easier for road maintenance, it's easier for roads development. Every agency knows its mandate and where it falls. So equally for the regulator, we had to think, first of all, we felt we should create a very strong regulator that have got teeth to bite, like we have in the U.S. Department for Transport Safety. Then after a lot of debate here, they said, no, that will be too overwhelming because Department for Transport Safety will cover the three main mode of transport. That is the roads, air, and maritime, which in Kenya's situation will be too much for that one. So that's when we came now with the NTSA, okay, purely for the roads. Because for the air, we have a different agency. For maritime, we have KMA, Kenya Maritime Authority. So creation of the NTSA, personally, we did not participate in that bill drafting. But the way it was drafted is, left a lot of to be desired because of what is management structure. You find that the directorate directors appears to be more powerful than even the
Director General,
even the board. In other agencies, like the roads, because I participated in their drafting, you find that the nomination of the board member comes from the respective professional institutions. Yeah, and once you have that kind of board with those brains, then it's likely to perform. But if you are just picking anybody, a nominee, just put it there because of
political expediency, rewards.
That body will not perform. And this is the case with the NTS. I'm sorry to say so, because this is a reality.
Yeah.
But the management of NTSA has done very well. They came up, last year we had what we call 2024, we launched this document. National Road Safety Action Plan. It's a very good document. If you go through it, it's a very good document on how to really reclaim the road safety on our roads. But who is supposed to work this document?
Right. Let me have a.
Who is supposed to work that document?
This is.
We don't have.
If you can. A bit.
That's the document.
Let me. There. Okay. Not the
Which
right. There we
camera?
go. That's much better. Yeah. So the National Road Safety
National Road Safety Action Plan, 2024-2028. Okay.
It's a good document.
It's a, yeah.
But the thing is, we need a very strong board, first of all, to initiate how do we implement this, push for it. Because at the end of it all, if things go haywire in a government or a parastatal, the first people to be hammered is the board. Before you can go to DG.
Yeah. Have you made any recommendations? First of all, I wonder, you've been there, you've seen all this transformation. You were there when the Michuki rules came in. You're still part of the sector. I'm trying to figure out how you cope with the mess. The descent into chaos, and whether there's any recommendation that you keep trying to reinforce just from the position you have, that you feel if this is something the board could take up, if this is something the sector could take up, we would be back on the right track. What recommendation is that you've tried to push for?
This is a really hard nut to crack.
Okay.
Because for any sector to perform, first of all, you need a very good, vibrant, outgoing, fast learner, somebody who interact with the players in that respective sector. Be it manufacturing, be it transport, whatever it is. Yeah? A very good, first of all, start from the CS, cascading down. Equally good PS. I can tell you, if we had, Michuki had continued for 5 years, things would have been different. And maybe we would not be having this, what we have. Maybe we would have set some kind of strategic, operation procedure that is acceptable. Besides Michuki, we had James Masharia in the last regime. He was equally good. He was pro-people. He would interact with the people. Okay? And sometimes even called forums just to get what's the problem. Then with this current regime, we had Kipchumba, a very good person. Mheshimiwa Onesimus Murkomen, very good person to interact with. Yeah? And then now come to the current situation. I would want to tell you, God help us.
Oh my. Mungu saidia.
You know why I'm saying that? It's because we are put in as FPTS, because FPTS is the apex body for the industry. And you want really to brief the current CS on what are some of the key challenges that needs to be talked to be discussed, tabled, and eventually discussed so that you can find a way forward. 13 months ago. To date, tujapata.
Oh no.
He's going sector by sector. Ameanza na watu wa ndege. Aende kwa meli. Atakuja kwa matatu.
Maybe by the time the first time is coming to an end,
you may get a chance to see him.
Would also like to also have a word with the head of state, okay? Because the public transport in this country is one of the key ministries that plays a major role in the growth of our economy. Yeah, its contribution is fundamental. Yeah, way beyond 20% of GDP, up to 25%.
Yeah,
and as such, there is no way the performance and will be effective and efficient if people don't talk.
Yeah.
Okay. and find what are the challenges.
Yeah.
How can we solve these challenges? Instead of having a situation of them versus us.
Right.
I
It
like
has to be
that.
more collaborative.
Yes.
I'm thinking about things like accidents being on the rise. When was speed governors last used?
I don't know. You would think they're still in effect.
They are
And
still
you know
in
with-
effect.
Sorry.
There's
As
annual
you answer that,
inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, let me just. There's the annual inspection of all PSVs.
Yep.
Okay. Is it to check that they are complying with what was in fact put in by the Michuki rules? To check that it has a speed governor. To check that the vehicle is painted. To check that the vehicle has the route indicated. To check that it has seat belts and all those. Is that what among the things that they do with the inspector?
At the inspection, they check all that, and even the serviceability of that vehicle. Okay, and that's mechanically, is it compliance with the NTSA rules and the regulation? All that is checked, and among all, the speed governor, we must have a renewed license from the dealer. Okay.
Every year.
Those are in operation and they're still working. Nothing is really amiss there.
Okay.
But the problem here is how do we move from that position to better
But are they
the
in
road
operation
classes?
really, Dickson? Are they? If we went to matatus today, are we going to find functional seat belts in matatus
First of all, let me
that have been inspected by NTSA inspectors? Are we going to actually find matatus that are in good serviceable condition and speed governors that have been recertified by the supplier and are in good working condition, and in the event of an accident, that speed governor can then show us what was happening before the accident?
Yeah, what really happened is that when it comes to city belts, town service vehicles, there's no need of city belts because it's beba shukisha. And those city belts will not last long before the buckles that's non-functional. But the inter-counties vehicles, seat belts are paramount. Seat belts are a must.
Wait, you're saying they're not paramount in town? Like, for example, if I'm doing Buruburu
To town.
to town, 5 8,
Yes.
that seatbelts are not paramount.
That's
on
why,
Jogo Road.
that's why the road service license for that vehicle is purely for the town service, not inter-county.
Is this according to the law?
Yes, that's according to the law.
Even
NTSA
global best
rules.
practice, if you think about major cities, those buses, it's the seats that even face each other and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They
Because
don't
you
have-
it's this stage to the next stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You alight. But Nairobi to Kitui must have a
That's
safety
must have.
belt. And what you're saying is that a matatu that has been given a license to operate within Nairobi should not find itself going to Kitui.
It should not.
Hold on.
And
But people are often arrested for not wearing seatbelts
In Nairobi.
In Nairobi.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a condition, but we argued that most of the seat belts for the town service vehicles became not functional because of buckle, pulling a buckle
Yeah, open,
because
close,
of the
open, close. Yeah. High traffic.
heavy traffic, and then you are disembarking at very short intervals, and those kind of things. So those seat belts will not last
Okay.
for the town services.
Okay. When was this?
So
That
almost
stopped?
immediately, this
almost immediately the Michuki rules were enforced.
Yes.
But for years and years, police have been stopping people, either pretending it is a real crime or
Yeah.
not. Seatbelt, seatbelt,
But-
seatbelt.
currently that's not the situation.
It's not the law.
It's not
or
the
it's
situation.
The arrest, what you're saying is that arrests are not happening now for seatbelts in Nairobi,
For the town services.
for the town service.
Yes.
Rongai unajua si Nairobi.
No, meta sio Madaraka.
Hapa Madaraka
si Nairobi.
to town.
Eh.
Okay. Probably. Dickson is saying it's no longer happening.
Okay.
Have you heard someone
have-
saying that it's actually
Not
still
recently,
happening?
but way after the Mishuki laws. As
I know.
More, yeah.
Yeah, it used to happen.
Yeah.
It used to, in fact, that was an argument even in the courts of law that the city belts in town service are not tenable because of people disembarking and they become dysfunction of, almost immediately. It won't last more than 3 months, so kind of thing.
So if the upcountry buses and PSVs have functional speed governors and all, explain the accidents, Dickson.
Right.
Do you know accident can even occur even at 60 kilometers per hour?
Yes, true.
Even at 40.
True.
Yeah. But really, what happens? Why we have so many road crashes in this country is because of one. There are two conditions here, or two causes here. One, lack of serious law enforcers. That's the audit. Okay, in between counties. Previously in the 80s and 90s, we used to have mobile traffic of police officers. Yeah, they are supposed to counter that audit, particularly on the issue of the speeding vehicles. Okay. Number two, then the discipline aspect of the drivers there. Yeah, and this is where now the teamwork now is really required. Yeah, that's between NTSA, the operators. Yeah, police are just there to audit. Are people complying with the NTSA rules and the regulation? And on top of that, Traffic Act Cap 43, which is the old document for that matter.
Could I?
Yeah, enforcement is really what is the need. The other thing, of course, why I say it is supposed to be a teamwork between the NTSA and the operator. And I said earlier on, the NTSA should think of empowering the matatu companies and SACCO so that they are able now to enforce their own code of ethics, their own code of conduct. The whole thing boils on leadership and governance.
It does. Yeah. I have to interrupt you just a little bit because we're almost out of time, and there's a few things I would want to get through before we end the conversation. But I absolutely agree with you. It does boil down to leadership and governance. From a safety perspective still, the quality of the fabrication of matatus, like quite literally how they are assembled, what safety standards exist with the fabrication of matatus, what's global best practice? I don't know, because they do seem quite, I don't know, what's the word to use?
The quality is
the quality is wanting from a fabrication perspective. So please speak to that, number one. And number two, this idea of issuing invoices. We were just discussing it in the last hour with KRA. Yeah, so issuing invoices to passengers
Fares.
to try and be ETIMS compliant. Yeah. But start with fabrication.
Fabrication, really, we have standards. Yeah, for many years we have been having standards. Yeah, it's KS 372 for the matatus and coaches. Okay. The bodybuilders, we have a number of them in this country. First of all, the investor. Okay, you want to buy you want to invest in the matatu industry, and then you have to select the model of the vehicles, the brand that you want. And then, of course, you apply through your financial, and then the financial approves, and then you have got to go to that dealer so that you are given the chassis, and you take the bodybuilder. Support the bodybuilder, really, to fabricate that coach or that matatu bus with that 3-seater according to the standards. This is kept standard.
If I take this same matatu to, say, Europe and try to use it for public transport there, they don't have that form, but let me just say any form of transport there, would it pass their inspection guidelines or somewhere else in the world? Yeah.
First of all, which country? Because those countries will not allow it. They have got their own standard. They have got their own BRT buses and one operator.
I'm just trying to say, do the standards do matatus meet like global safety safety standards? Yeah. Issuing invoices, we're just completely out of time.
We're completely out of time, but yeah.
Maybe that. Do you think matatus meet global safety standards? Yes, no. And then issuing invoices to be ETIMS compliant.
For global standards, yes, I would want thing now. For global standards, yes, but we have cascaded that into localized standard. That's why we are coming with the KS 372. Okay.
ETIMS invoices.
Which is borrowed from the international standard.
Okay. ETIMS invoices.
I don't know. That's it. First of all, you need to educate us. They need KRA needs to educate us. What would be the purpose of that? Yeah, bearing in mind the same KRA is overtaxing matatu vehicles.
Okay,
we'll have a bone to pick with them when it comes to that.
Oh, okay,
fair.
Because
thank you.
Matatu business is the most taxed business in this country.
Every business says that, but I do hear you, and you're right about the communication. We're completely out of time. Thank you so much, Dickson. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Yep.
Dickson Mbugua, the National Chair for the Matatu Welfare Association. Lest we forget the Michuki rules. At some point we forgot them, but let's try and get back to that, streamlined form of transport, of private public transport, because we don't really have public transport in Kenya.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Winnie Lubembe is